The dude that is having sex with the girl consistently and giving off a little bit more of that lover or boy kind of a vibe. The topic of conversation is different than the boyfriend provider dude. They're different categories, right? The guy that's boyfriendy and providery, his vibe and his energy in the communication is more safe, secure, providing, and trusting. The dude that's the lover or boy, whatever you want to call it, like the rock star kind of a guy, it's not so much of those categories. It's more of fun, adventure, sex, lust, no judgment, party, adventure, spontaneity. Those are different vibes. You need to be able to analyze your interaction. It's like, well, which of these is like more of the direction I've been moving in? Part of this does tie back to your archetype as a man. And what do I mean by that? Well, the dude that looks like a school teacher and he walks like a school teacher and he lives in an apartment that is in a community that just looks very like safe, and the way he talks is very safe, and the whole lifestyle and character is in that element of safe, security, trust, no risk, provider, all of those elements that I was just talking about. It's gonna be really hard for a dude like that to suddenly be like, surprise, I'm actually the rock star. Women are gonna look at you, it's not even just about the words, they're gonna actually just look at you as a person and start to categorize you. Okay, he looks this way in this environment, and the environment is responding to him this way. That's the first impression. That's the first thing, is they're gonna categorize you based off of that. And then we start the interaction. How is he talking to me? What is his confidence like? What is he saying in the interaction? What are the emotions I'm feeling towards him? All of that is happening in the first couple minutes of a conversation. I strongly recommend that if this is more like safe and security and boyfriendy and provider guy, and this is more rock star, lover, lustful boy dude, if you feel like your character is all the way over here, well, bro, like if your look and your character and your lifestyle is all the way over here, it's gonna be really hard to just change a couple things you're doing in the interaction to suddenly be over here. It just doesn't make sense, right? And that goes for a lot of you dudes. Like I see you, the way you look, the way you communicate, the way you're interacting with me, you're all the way over here, man. Like some of you dudes are all the way over here, and then the dude comes to me and asks me a question like, Kyle, well, how do I like casually have sex with multiple women? It's like, well, dude, you don't look like that guy or act like that guy or communicate like that guy, so why the fuck would anybody categorize you like that guy? Really doesn't make sense. Like if women would treat Drake that way, it's because look at Drake's status, look at his lifestyle, look at what is conveyed of him through social media and his music and his popularity and his money. All of those things are screaming this thing. It's really easy for a dude like that to be put in that category. That's an extreme example. The fucking 5th grade school teacher is an extreme example of the opposite. Some of you dudes may not be all the way over here, so the closer you can already be instinctually, like if I could just look at you and automatically think you're somewhere on this side of the spectrum, it's gonna be a lot easier to play that game. The first fundamental pieces is like, who is your character and what is your lifestyle and what does your social media look like? Let's say we're already kind of over here with those things. Great, now we're in a position where we could do something. Keep in mind, if this is the spectrum and you are already kind of over in this direction, you may get tested by women on this, and that is okay. Getting tested is not necessarily a bad thing. You want to view a test or a shit test is also known as a congruency test. It's the woman checking to see where the fuck you're at, right? Like she's actually checking for congruence because you're actually positioning yourself somewhere over here. Now the girl wants to make sure, are you actually over here? Are you congruent to what I'm assessing so far of you? That's why women test. They test for congruence. I'm gonna get back to the video in 1 second, but really quickly, if you wanna work with me one-on-one to implement any of the concepts I talk about in any one of my videos, click the link in the description, fill out the application for an opportunity to actually work with me personally to accomplish your goals with women in dating. Link is in the description. With that being said, let's get back to the video. But also keep in mind, they only test if it's slightly iffy about it or if it's really going against what they want. A girl's not really gonna shit test someone like Drake or anybody that's extremely in this direction because it's so fucking obvious that they're in this direction. So when it's really obvious, you're not actually gonna get tested, or it would be a light test. The more iffy and shaky you are, the more the girl's gonna press to figure out what the fuck's going on here. I would say some other mistakes you do is like, it's the way you're actually running the date, okay? So if you're trying to go more in this direction of like casualness, well, I wouldn't run such a formal date. I wouldn't be talking about such formal topics of conversation. And I also wouldn't be so formal with my escalation too. You can't run a date where it's extremely formal and your vibe is super formal and it's very serious and logical and get to know you and resume exchange like, and you're also unconfident with your escalation. All of those things are screaming that you're actually in this direction. So if you trying to present yourself over here, but then you run the date over here, there's another incongruency there, okay? And this was me for a long time. Like, I was not comfortable escalating. I was not comfortable talking about sexual topics. I was not comfortable demonstrating in my vibe that I was confident in my own skin. I was a dude that had women in my life too. Like, where I'm at right now in my interactions, guys, like, I literally tell the girl in the first couple minutes of the conversation I'm in an open relationship. I say that in the very beginning of the interaction, a lot of the times, right? Like, I have no shame in doing that. I have no shame in telling the girl I'm a dating coach. Just off fucking rip. Previously, I would beat around the bush. I would be like embarrassed about what the girl would do if she found out about my YouTube channel, or, oh, if she found out I had a girlfriend, there would be no chance. That's not necessarily true. Whatever your things are, you need to get comfortable in your own skin and unashamedly being able to admit your desires as a man. Keep in mind, a lot of women don't really want this, and that's okay. There are a lot of women who only want this, there are a lot of women who only want this, and there are a lot of women that are kind of somewhat open to both ideas to some extent. Like, every girl has like a spectrum. If this is the whole thing, I would say most girls have like a spectrum like this. Like, a girl is willing to be anywhere in this spectrum. Some girls are willing to be on kind of both sides of the spectrum, but not extremes on either. And then some girls are kind of able to be on this too. The same girl that's like getting naked twerking at Drake's party will also still be able to have a boyfriend and be in a relationship. They all have a spectrum, and that's kind of why they're testing to see like where you're at, and also so they can evaluate how they should be acting with you, because they're pinging based off of your energy and what you're putting out there, and they're in reaction to that. If the value's in place. If the value's not in place, then they're not going to be in reaction to you. Main things, if you're trying to move more in this direction, because I have a feeling most of you guys that are watching this are probably like, I'm somewhere over here, and you may not even want to be over here, but you probably want to be a little bit more over here, right? So if that's the case and you're trying to move into a little bit more of casual dating, at least for right now, just because you want to, you know, get more experience, have more fun, have more sexual experience as well, which is okay. There's no shame in that. Again, you cannot feel embarrassed or be ashamed of the fact of like, that's what you want, and that's what takes practice. Like, I felt weird initially telling girls that stuff, especially way back, like back when I was like 25, 26, like 8 years back. I was afraid of communicating that to women because my whole life I had a girl. My only one relationship was extremely monogamous, and like for me it was almost unheard of to be able to communicate that to a woman. So you're gonna need to go through this a little bit. You're gonna get tested, you're gonna fail tests, you're gonna lose women because you don't calibrate and present it the right way, or they test you and you're slightly in your head about it and you can't pass the test confidently or congruently. That's okay, it's part of the fucking process. But by going through the journey, dating women, getting more comfortable and confident in your own skin about what you actually want or are looking for, and displaying that to women over and over and over again, you slowly gain the confidence and level of entitlement that it's okay to want what you want as a man. And there's no shame in that, guys. There's no shame in that. I actually think it's better to be able to ethically communicate what you want to a woman. And if it doesn't fully align with her and you guys don't agree and she absolutely is not for that, it's okay. Like, that's not that big of a deal. Problem is, with a lot of us, we've dealt with a lot of rejection all of our lives. So now you're finally in a position where you're starting to date girls and you're afraid to lose them. You're afraid to piss them off. You're afraid of the judgment. So you kind of censor yourself and you position yourself a little bit more over here because it's more safety and trust, right? That's why you position yourself over here, because it's more safe. But what you don't realize is that actually leads to an incongruency later on when that's not actually what you wanted. So utilize these concepts through your dating life, through your communication with women, to slowly start to evaluate where you're at on the spectrum. What do you want, at least for the near future, and start positioning yourself more in that location moving forward. If you're interested in learning more about these principles, if you want to work with me personally to implement this stuff into your own life, I can help you with that. I'm the fucking guy for that, okay? Click the link in the description. You can fill out an application and book a free consultation call for an opportunity to work with me personally. The link is in the description. I've helped hundreds, if not thousands of men over the last couple years make massive transformations in their dating life. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I've created a coaching program where we could work with you directly, give you live feedback, show you the entire step-by-step structure to bring you from where you are right now to achieving the dating life of your dreams, okay? click the link below, book out that free consultation call so we can discuss more details about it. That's all for this video, guys. Until next time, Coach Kyle signing out. Peace out.